Find product links below and hundreds more videos on my channel.
Hi everyone, welcome back. So after many questions from you guys over the past couple of years, I eventually got the Varavon S900 and the Varavon V800, and I just finished reviewing the Varavon V800, and now the S version, the S, which is the slightly larger thickness of rail, and there's a few other minor changes here, but the S is just a slightly larger version. I didn't feel like it would be very useful for you guys if I made two videos that said basically the same thing twice, where I just put a new slider there and said the exact same thing again. So instead of that, I figured I would do a video where I showed you guys how I actually use this, how I set it up, and I figured that would be useful and it would give a lot of variation between the two videos, where in this video I actually went over a lot more of the smaller details on the slider, and I will mention most of those here, but I'll mention them fairly quickly. So this is the S900. It's a 900 centimeter slider. It does, obviously, both of these come in different lengths. I use between 100 and 80 centimeters, and so yeah, so 80 is more something that you would fit into a suitcase, and then 100 is more something that gives you tons and tons of length, but still on most tripods will be stable and not want to fall over when the camera's at the end. So I wouldn't go over 100 because of that reason. So 90 is actually a good length, but for some tripods you can actually go over 100. It just depends on the tripod that you're using. So over here I've got it set up with the Manfrotto 535 tripod, which is awesome tripod, very expensive, really expensive. It's like 450 pounds or something. And then the Manfrotto 520 ball, which is a bowl mount adapter, which is, pretty nice high quality, not that cheap, but I mean, it's only, I think it's like 40 pounds or something, so it's okay. And then I've got it here with the Varavon leveling base, which is just gives another adjustment above the slider. So if I want to tilt the slider slightly, so if let's say if I want to do something like this, and then bring that back to being, bring my head back to being level and actually do a shot tracking upwards, then I could do that without having my shot sideways. And I really like this Varavon leveling base. I've spoken about this in its own video. And okay, let me bring this back to being level, approximately. And there we are. And so I'm really happy with this kind of setup, and something I really like using. And of course, on here, something I've spoken about before, I used to use the Fancier, which is actually what I'm recording with right under the camera there. And this is the version of the Fancier that is sold by Varavon, which comes with a flat mount base, which is superbly awesome. I've made a video about that separately as well. And by the way, in case you haven't seen my videos before, all my videos are never paid promotional videos. They're all reviews, and they're of my opinions only. So this slider is very nice, very high quality rail, very high quality bearing system. And we do have a very nice feature on here on the base that you can't see it from your side, but I showed it in a previous video, where you just have, once you want to unscrew the head, you just remove that, unspin that slightly, and then from the bottom, especially when you're working with a very big head system and a camera system, being able to remove that from the slider very easily by just spinning a wheel at the side here is just really nice. I really love having this feature on here. And usually I would use my rotating weight system on most shoots. Oops, I was moving that the wrong way. Usually I would use that, and you can see my separate video about that. It's a DIY system that I made myself. Currently, I don't think you can get it as a standalone system. There are, I think, some higher cost sliders that have now included it after they saw my video. They've actually started producing that on some sliders, but it's a weight that rotates, and that was basically a DIY thing. So I made that myself, and so over here, on both the V800 and the S900, we have a hole right here at the edge of the slider, which would be perfect for a DIY system to make your own rotating weight. And what that gives you is it just gives you supremely smooth slides. not with regards to actual smoothness, but with regards to a constant speed, which is something that you obviously create with your hand. And no matter how good the slider is, creating the perfect constant speed is really easily done with a weight system, much, much easier when you have a weight spinning as this moves. So that's its own separate video. You can see that. I'll have a link down below. And so these legs are slightly different from the ones on the V800 in that they're not detachable. And so, you know, I mean, it's okay. I do actually prefer having them detachable, but it's okay because they do fit into the case like this. Having them detachable gives you the option if you want to have it. So the S900 doesn't have connection points over here on the rail itself. It does have connection points on the metal of the legs, which is cast metal, which means that it's, I mean, it's not the ideal metal to use, but I have tested this with a lot of weight. I used about half my body weight in like workout weights on top of just one of these feet, and it didn't even bend. So they're very strong feet, just not ideal, as mentioned in my V800 review. I always get confused with those two names. All you want to do to avoid these connections, there's little teeth in there. All you want to avoid to not cause those teeth to wear each other out is just press downwards before you turn. That's all. You just press downwards so that the teeth aren't grinding up against each other. That's the only thing to prevent wear on those teeth. I haven't tested the strength of this with regards to connecting a tripod to it, but I mean, it should be fine. Maybe at some point I'll do like a stress test on this and some other sliders, but generally should be fine. I mean, obviously you take care of this like you would take care of any other piece of equipment, so yeah, should be fine. But my general recommendation for any slider is always use a center connected tripod for support, because having two tripods at either end, or a tripod and a monopod, or two light stands is supremely annoying with any slider. Just trying to move that around and trying to set it up is so annoying. So spend a little bit of money on a tripod that goes in the center, that is solid. You can get the 717 from Fancier, Weifeng, E-Image, whatever you want to call it. And or, you know, if you want to, and that is a very solid tripod, but it's, you know, not perfect. If you want the best tripod that you can currently, the best low weight, you know, nice to carry around. But as far as I know, I've spoken about this before, as far as I know, this is the best tripod you can currently get. It's very expensive, but its features and weight and just working with this thing is just so nice. I love this thing. It's the best tripod I've ever seen, and yes, I've seen a lot of them. I've researched it, I've looked it up, never found any tripod with better specs than this. So this is awesome, but expensive. If you want something that's really good, but low cost, the 717, just go to eBay, type in 717 tripod, you'll find lots of them. And those, by the way, do come in higher versions, but they weigh a little more than this, and yeah, so okay, so that's mostly it. This slider is able to give you really good results. It's a very high quality slider. It is fully adjustable from within. The bearings are adjustable, and the bearings within the S version, I actually didn't need to use my own. As I mentioned in my review of the V900, I did a slightly different method for adjusting the bearings than what was said in the manual. However, with this one, and by the way, I filmed a separate video about that, just explaining. It's fairly simple, not an issue. With the S900, the method that was shown in the manual worked just fine for adjusting the bearings. So this is a very high quality rail that is, you know, doesn't have any play in the rail. Once you tighten it just the right amount, which is what you would want to do with any roller bearing slider, then it is superb. It doesn't stick, it doesn't have any wobble issues, very strong. As mentioned, slightly more beefy rail than the V800, and obviously it just costs a little more, but yeah, very nice. We do actually have more holes in here for cutting down the weight of the slider, and also they are nice to grip and stuff. So I actually really like the fact that they've cut holes out of this. So this slider is something I'm very happy with. It is very, very smooth, and yeah, it's great quality slider. And yeah, so I hope you found this review helpful. By the way, I didn't show the case of this. I don't really show cases in detail that much. It's just a case, very high quality, no problems with it. And yeah, you know, nicely padded and just fits around it. You can see that in the photos. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.